Hey viewers, welcome to another game of the Casual Pro Gamer. Today we are doing another StarCraft 2 1 versus 1 between Savior, which I think is not the original Savior from StarCraft 1, although it would be awesome if he was, because he was one of my favorite players, versus ChosenOne, which I've never heard of, but I picked this one because it had Savior in it. And yeah, Savior, for those of you who don't know, was a very famous StarCraft Brood War player, Zerg player too, so yeah, it might be him, although the chances of that are very slim. And yeah, if those kind of players are coming back, that would be actually really exciting to me at least. And we see a fast expand, but a very strange position for that first pylon. I guess he wants to wall off here. And then, I don't know, to be honest, I have no clue. So we're going to have to see how he does that. But anyway, yeah, we see the pretty standard build here for Zerg. Just building an Overlord and then continuing on producing those drones. He doesn't need to build anything else for now. The Forge is coming up, so he is going to wall off at least part of this ramp. But yeah, it seemed to be better if you build it like over here, the first pylon, but then yeah, you have a bigger gap, I guess, to close with those buildings. Maybe he's going to close off this area and then use his Nexus as block as well. I don't know, well, we'll have to see. I really have no clue how this is going to work. Maybe it's just a brilliant solution because the ramp here is too big to wall off or something like that, because that would make sense. So we are going to see an expansion here for the Zerg, placing that down just before the probe arrives, and the spawning pool is going to go down as well. Spawning pool was already down before the hatchery, because that allows him to put on some pressure, and yeah, of course that makes sure that the Protoss indeed invest some money in this photon cannon and well, the Forge and everything like that. And yeah, he is indeed going to use that Nexus as part of his wall off, using an extra pylon here to well, wall off the gap between the Forge and Nexus. Yeah, that was a Nexus. Okay, cute. Anyhow, we're going to see the probe get chased down, because obviously that is going to die. He is going to keep it alive as long as possible, of course, but yeah, that's kind of obvious, because he wants to make sure that the Zerg player has as much trouble as possible with taking down those kind of units, those scouting units. And yeah, well, all in all, just a very standard opening for both players. I guess they're standard for a reason, because that's good. Standard is normally considered the best, because yeah, in well, the general situation, those are the best solutions to go for, because that's why they are standard, because they're hard to beat. Anyway, yeah, leaving this side open, so there is some cannon support, I guess. The cannon can actually reach this, right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the cannon can reach that. But yeah, well, whatever. We'll see that soon enough, I guess. It doesn't really matter whether it reaches for now. It matters if you're building this. So I think because this cannon is hugging the Nexus, that it can actually reach up till here somewhere. So not the actual probes, but close enough to, well, allow you to, well, defend with it. And this is of course an excellent route for the Zerglings, or to prevent Zerglings run-bys, because it's a very long route. And you only needed to build 2 buildings in the way of the Zerglings. And yeah, the rest can be built further back, and that should be very beneficial. Obviously, if you build them further back, so if you build your buildings all the way in the back there, it's going to be easier to defend those buildings. And this one should prevent the run by from behind here, so you really have to go past the cannon. Yeah, normally we see the heavy buildings, so the gateways and such in the front, the gateway cybernetics core, but not the pylons. Here it is a pylon in the front, and he's going to kill the second one right on top of that, just to make sure that it doesn't get sniped. Yeah, pylons only have what, 500 HP? 400? 600, okay. 600 HP, where these guys have 800, 1000 and 1100. So it's easier to defend with the big buildings normally, but yeah. I guess he wanted to try out something new. The Zerg player, in the meantime, is doing a typical Savior thing, which is kind of reminding me of him, because he liked to expand a whole lot, and yeah, we will see if he actually gets punished for that. But yeah, that is the style he had, so I'm still wondering whether it is the real deal. The pylon gets scouted here, which is unfortunate, because he really doesn't want that pylon scouted for as long as possible. Yeah, well, the pylon is the place where his reinforcements are going to come in. They are going to come in right here. So, yeah, pretty decent army here. Did I get everyone? I think I got everyone. Wow, more and more units just streaming in. Yeah, there are roaches out, there are a lot of zerglings out. Well, not Prefron, but enough to make a difference. He's going to snipe the pylon, and that's why I said he wouldn't want that, because it is really hard to defend against that. Loses his base here, obviously. Is going to be able to rebuild that pretty quickly. I don't think he lost too many drones. Oh, he did lose too many drones. Wow, that was actually quite significant. So losing 15 drones, and I did not expect that, to be honest. I expected him to just withdraw his drones, but I guess he couldn't because of the force fields. There were force fields up blocking off that ramp, and yeah, if you group up all of your workers to one place, then yeah, they do get sniped pretty easily, of course. So yeah, great opening here for the Protoss player. He hasn't had his wall tested by a Zerg invade, but I guess it should hold normally. And we have a huge army coming this way now. So both players now with decent sized armies, and we're going to have to see how this works out. So the next base coming up, the third base for our Protoss player, who's also going to build a pylon, and that makes sure that he can actually, well, warp in troops here. But not only that, he can build buildings here that defend this nexus. But the nexus is going to go down, well, it's going to get cancelled. In the meantime, these roaches are going to get up against the stalkers, and the stalkers are going to lose this. That's why we have force fields, but he placed his force field in, well, not so good places. As you can see, the energy is completely gone on those. So he's going to have to be very careful with his stalkers. Because stalkers normally lose the battle to sorry, to roaches. So 15 versus armor versus 16 versus armor, which is not a big deal. Obviously both of them are armored. It's just that yeah, there are more roaches normally, and plus now the Zerglings come in, and Zerglings are awesome against stalkers, because stalkers, yeah, they can't really defend too well against Zerglings. It takes them several shots to kill them, and there are just so many of them. I mean, they're not AoE units, and they're not super tanky like the Zealots. The Zealots are really tanky. They have a decent amount of HP, good attacks, they have double attacks, so I don't know how that works with stalkers, but the Zealots have 2 strikes with every attack. So basically the damage here gets doubled, so it's not 9 damage, it's 18 damage per attack, or 9 damage per hit, I guess. And the Zerg player makes it out, or goes out, and how did these guys get here? Did they get dropped? Did I miss a drop? Ah, screw that. I don't know, something red is here. Oh, it's the pylon. So he warped him in and then ran him to the base, I guess. So yeah, I wasn't the only one missing that, because obviously the Zerg player missed that as well. And wow, just completely getting annihilated now. And this is going to suck, because yeah, this mule is not going to do anything. Yeah, this is going to be impossible to defend from here on out. Let me go back a little bit. So I wanted to see where those the zealots, yeah, they just completely ran in, and he saw them way earlier than I did, because I reacted to his army withdrawing. But yeah, not getting a whole lot of drones, if any, but getting a lot of harassment done. And this is the interesting fight. This was the fight I wanted to see with the stalkers on the high ground. Normally you should have an advantage. And in this case, it's just because he had more. He just had more units. It is really not a similar amount of minerals invested, as you can see, minerals and gas. Even though they have this similar number in there. But we're going to have to see if he can actually hold this off, because it is possible with with Zerg to still hold this off. Because you can build a whole army at once, and yeah, as you can see, spine crawlers coming up, some mutilisks, although they don't really work very well. Zerglings coming up, but no roaches, and the roaches are really what he needs to defeat this. Yeah, the Protoss player really only sniping that one base and not going in further, really withdrew his army straight away. Going to regroup, going to rebuild his army, his smaller units especially. So these immortals are still fully healthy, and it's just that his smaller units are not doing too hot. He lost a lot of stalkers. He also lost all of his zealots, and zealots are really more support units anyway. So he has no problem rebuilding those, but he does have to rebuild those. Yeah, a little bit of harassment here on the drones, but yeah, Mutalisks just not very effective at that. They're not like the Mutalisks from StarCraft's Brood War. And as you can see, Blink Stalkers now, they're going to do a little bit of damage to the Mutalisks. Mutalisks not really too worried, and a large amount of Zerglings streaming into this base with a couple of roaches. The roaches are going to get taken down. And oh, the snipe on the Nexus here. And he's going to wait for this force field to go down, and then try to attack this army. Obviously staying out of range for as long as he has to. But yeah, no real chance of getting that at all. One of the immortals gets hurt pretty badly. But there's a new one coming up. I don't know when it's actually finished. Oh, it's already finished? Do you lose one then? I don't know. I thought you had the third one now. Yeah, oh, there it is. So, yeah, a small group of Zerglings coming in. I don't know what they were trying to do. Maybe scout around a little bit. But he does have the scouting information from the Zelnaga Tower, which obviously doesn't, well, give you all of the information, but it at least gives you some information. I think he just gave up. I mean, there was no way he's going to suicide 3 Mutalisks in here if he still thinks he has a chance. Yeah, once again going to snipe this, but only getting 100 minerals out of that. And really should invest in something that is a little more tanky than just these Zerglings. Maybe that's why he built the next base, just to mine the gas. Because roaches and, well, Mutalisks are not very good, but roaches are really good against this this combination, but they require a lot of gas. So that's kind of the problem here. There's a Mutalist there. The Mutalist, yeah, really bad choice. I don't understand why he made that as a choice. But yeah, they're not good at all against Stalkers. They are of course awesome, or ZvP by the way. They are of course awesome against the Immortals, because Immortals can't shoot air. But yeah, they don't really damage the Immortals that hard, and yeah, that's kind of what you need. So wow, getting into the base is now being tested basically by the Zergans, and a few Mutalisks, but the Mutalisks are going to go down pretty easily. He is going to, wow, just suicided his last Mutalisk, and that was his final attack. So in the end, he got a lot of workers killed, 44, but it's not nearly enough because the units killed 286. That is just way better. And if we look at the resources lost, no, not the units lost, resources. Hang on, spending, we can see it. Yeah, so the Protoss invested less in army because he still had his army up, and therefore he could invest in economy. But I guess units lost is somewhere else. Units lost, that's L. No, resources lost, that's what I wanted. There's no resources lost. Anyway. Yeah, I guess we're all going to have to do with this. Yeah, all in all, it was pretty easy to see that the Protoss player just held off way better in that well, in that mid game. Early game, pretty much both of them held off, but then the Zerg player lost his base a couple of times because of the, well, the route over here. And he could hold his main base. I don't know where all the spine crawlers went, whether they were actually destroyed or he cancelled them, but yeah, he actually didn't get to do a whole lot with his army. He didn't build the correct army against this enemy. But anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. G.